This poem I wrote when I was going to see Billy Collins in San Francisco, a wonderful poet. And I got there a little early, and I was inspired by the city and wrote this. She is San Francisco, in shades of pink and blue, a painted lady with combat boots and attitude. She wears sweatshirts in summer, chilled by salt-soaked fog spilling over evening tides. You might catch a glimpse of her rollerblading across the Golden Gate as you sail beneath suspended steel into Pacific swells. She is Portraits in DeYoung, a cable car's clang, a skate punk sprayed in neon green who runs from bay to breakers or swirls around a rainbow flag on Market Street in June. She is San Francisco, spun with threads of sunset hues and wisps of endless dune. And I know San Francisco's having a rough time right now. I still love San Francisco, come on. It's not going anywhere. It is not going anywhere. Ocean, mountains, cable cars, steep hills. It's not going anywhere. All right, the second poem I'm going to read, it was from a collaboration with the incredible Vanessa Thomas. And the photo that inspired this poem is right up there. This incredible green turquoise photo of a dahlia, an amazing flower. And we collaborated on a Barricade theater exhibit that was all combinations of artists and poets. Ode to Dahlia, after a photo by Vanessa Thomas. Dahlia, bursting in green. A singularity of petals spread ever outward in perfect radials, mathematical and infinite. Exploring every subtle shadow, curve and line, diving deeper into the labyrinth of purest perfection and design. Who crafted her flawless symmetry? Is it real or digital trickery? Mother Earth laughs, then smiles. I've had a billion years, you see, to mutate and play patiently. Random is my grand design. No need for planning, only time. Now, I wrote that before AI and ChatGPT and all that stuff, but it sounds kind of topical now. All right, I'm going to read two more and hand it back to Ben. This is a true story, and it's an example of a poem where the original title was pretty boring, and a poet friend of mine said I should spice up the title. So I'll tell you the original title afterwards. That time I was left for dead downstage. 8th grade, my big break. The play was something Western. I had a single line in every actor's dream, a dramatic death. I had to learn how to act with a beard glued on in pieces, the fake hair tickling the bottom of my nose. I wore it home for a day to get used to the feel. My family swallowed giggles during dinner. Opening night approached, my heart raced, imagining the curtain opening on 100 seated shadows. That single line I kept forgetting. Whispers from the director. Time ran out. Hurried discussions. It was decided. My debut line was cut. With a full beard glued on in pieces, tickling the bottom of my nose, a long black coat and top hat, boots one size too big, I walked into the spotlight, said nothing, was shot and left for dead at the edge of the stage. I remember lying there, unable to move, eyes closed, silently mouthing my line over and over and over, sensing classmates' footsteps, avoiding my corpse. Now, the original title, that was Stage Fright, and I think you'd agree that that time I was left for dead downstage is much better. And that was the very first poem I had was successfully placed with Prometheus Dreaming. All right, I'll read one more, and that's the cover, or the title poem for my book, The Plague Doctor. Oh, and I should show this. This book is not only poetry, but I commissioned several artists, and this in particular was inspired by this poem. So I gave the artist the poem and I said, go for it. and didn't give them any other direction. And the artist, Natalia Andres, does this incredible ink art where it's not digital, she does it by hand with an ink pen that's super thin, and so all the black parts are filled in, just takes hours and hours, and then she'll use whiteout to accentuate the white. So I have the originals in my study, and they're just incredible. So don't worry about all this AI and digital stuff. By hand. The Plague Doctor. You shared a photo last Halloween, chilled by a veil of fog, leather gloves stretched up and tucked into a blue velvet overcoat, cut high to shield your neck and folds, a bowler hat in rich black covering blonde hair with blood-soaked tendrils, perhaps flowing out of the frame or tied up in a knot, filling the rounded crown. It is the mask I can't shake, spectacles for eyes and a beak filled with dried flowers and spices, lavender rose, mint camphor, musty sweet in decay, stuffed snug to dispel miasma, and plague-spreading smells that wait in the shadows for death to return. Thank you. I'll be happy of course, to sell signed books, answer any questions about the poetry, and enjoy the evening. It's an awesome event. Well, there we go. All right, I'm going to sneak in one poem here for someone who just bought my concert photography book at the Barricade. Now, this poem is a Shakespearean sonnet, but I've written it to try to hide that. And I am an absolute fanatical goer of live music in the San Francisco Bay Area. This poem that I'm about to read premiered on the San Francisco Chronicle's Total SF podcast, where they invited me into, where we spent 30 minutes debating the best concert venues in San Francisco, and it got pretty heated. So this book covers 39 different artists. I think it's like 20 different venues, and it's photographs I took over the last 10 years from an iPhone 4 to a Pixel 7 Pro and everything in between. So this poem is At the Barricade, and if you love live music, hopefully this takes you right there. At the Barricade, packed in the Fillmore, hordes of t-shirts, no signs of color, just shades of ebony. Crushed bodies at the barricade below, my refuge above in the balcony where I wait for blackout and telltale beams guiding shadows to the stage. Guitars are slung on shoulders. A pair of drumsticks seem to float on fog from hidden reservoirs. The crowd erupts. Flash pots trigger war cries, and from the first deep subwoofer rumble, we are one. Speaker towers amplify each beat, chord, strum, and lead singer mumble. I lose myself in the torrent of sound, flashing color, seething masses, spellbound. And of course, there's the iconic Fillmore Barricade. All right, thank you. Back to the live music. All right. Keep it up.